Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to have another deep dive into building counterpoint vocabulary. In the first episode we covered how to move on a 2-5-1, and with a few rules we ended up with this version. As we covered important rules to help us build our counterpoint. So when we look at this 2-5-1, what we're really doing is moving chords in fourth. This E minor moves up a fourth diatonically to A7. And this A7 moves up a fourth diatonically to D. And looking at it this way, you can keep going with this motion and play it from here. This C sharp minor 7 flat 5. Here we now have a minor 2-5. And if you haven't got it yet, this is all in the PDF lesson available over buymeacoffee.com, Counterpoint #1. When we start looking at chord movements, another really helpful one is thirds. So here we're still in the key of D, and I'm using 10th, so D, 5th string, 5th fret, and F sharp, 7th fret of the B string. And I'm just moving diatonically through the key of D major, to B minor, to G major, to E minor, to C sharp minor, to A major, to F sharp minor, and back to D. Now that we have our framework, we can give more activity to our voice. And let's take the soprano line. And the easiest melody we can think of is just to link stepwise the chords. And when I'm reaching the end of the neck here, this G should go down to F sharp and E and etc. And I'm just going to keep going with this motion, but an octave higher, which means I'm going to play E minor, 0 on the E string, 0 on the G string, and I'm going to play F sharp, 7th fret of the B string, and down to C sharp minor. And keep going to A, F sharp, and here instead of playing G, I'm going to play it an octave higher as I can't go down to F sharp. So I'm playing F sharp minor. I move up to G on the E string, 3rd fret, and down to F sharp and 0 on the D string. And one thing you need to remember, in counterpoint, everything that's being done with the soprano can be done with the bass line. So let's do it from D, and we're going to link every bass note with stepwise motion. Here I played F sharp, 0 on the E string, and down to D. But you could also play F sharp, E up an octave, and to create this more coherent bass line. So it's played like that. So this phrase is great, but it's also highly predictable. And one thing you can do to fix that is to alternate the voice that's singing. So for example, I'm going to start the motion with my soprano singing, and I'm going to keep going with the bass singing. Back to the soprano, the bass, soprano, bass. But there are all sorts of pretty stuff that you can do with this motion. There are a lot of examples that we're not going to have the time to cover in this video. So if you want to get a deep dive into thirds motion and counterpoints, you can get a PDF lesson, Counterpoint #2 over buymeacoffee.com, and you get all the material and tools that you need to develop your counterpoint motion in thirds. And what can be done moving down can be done moving up. So let's try to move up in thirds. So here I'm doing D major, same starting position, moving up to F sharp minor, same string but 9 and 10. Then I move up to A major here, so on the D string and the E string, 9 and 7. I move up to C sharp minor, 11 on the D string, and 12 on the E string. And then I move up to E, but an octave lower. E minor, 7 and 8, with the A string and the B string. And then up to G, 10 and 12. Up to B minor on the D string and the E string, 9 and 10. And finally up to D. This D here, 12, 14. But you can move also down to your starting position. So let's try to apply the same motion with our soprano voice going up. So what I'm doing here is I'm linking these chords with a stepwise motion. When I'm reaching the end of the fretboard, I'd say the 12th fret, I'm continuing the soprano motion, but this F sharp G happens an octave higher, with the 11th fret here on the G string and up to my E minor position, and the G's here. Back to D. And now let's try to do the same thing but with our bass note. You'll see that doing it with a bass note is trickier, and it'll take you some time to learn it and to be fluent with it. But it's definitely worth it, as we really want in counterpoint both voices to be able to sing. So here when I'm reaching the end of the fretboard again, I'm doing the bass motion from C sharp to D to E, but I'm playing C sharp here, D on the 10th fret down an octave, and then back to my E position. So now let's try to alternate the voices. Super pretty. The voices activity here is really great. So here I changed the octave displacement from A up to C sharp minor. I played this C sharp minor an octave lower. So 9 and 9 on the G string. And I just played my soprano line. These two notes, D and E, an octave lower. And I kept going with the bass to E minor, soprano, bass, and I did this octave displacement again. Going up to D, I played E and F sharp on G string, resolving to D. So from here on the G string, you play 9th and 11. Trying to do these octave displacements anywhere in the neck. You're trying to really be comfortable with that as being just a regular motion. This way you'll never run out of space on the fretboard because we're traveling quite a lot and you'll be able to freely improvise. So we've done all these examples in 10th, as in my opinion they're easier to hear and visualize, but please do it in 6th and also do it in 3rds. And what can be done moving down can be done moving up. So let's move up in 6th. And one of my favorite motion in 3rds ever is moving up a 3rds using 3rd intervals. And on this specific one, when alternating the voices, you get a really nice imitation between the soprano and the bass line. It's not so hard to play, but it's really mind-blowing. And once again, this is a lot of examples, so I recommend that you pause the video and you take notes. Notes are your best mates to learn counterpoint. And if you're feeling lost, feel free to get the PDF lesson over buymeacoffee.com, counterpoint #2. It features all the explanation and all the tab you need to develop your vocabulary with chords moving in 3rds. So another thing we're going to look at and have a deep dive in the future is how to play contrary motion with all that. You can notice that we've chosen so far to use 10th, 6th, and 3rds. And those 3 intervals for now are going to be our only reference for playing contrary motion, and they are more than enough. Let's say I want to move down chords in 3rds, but using contrary motion. Well, I'm going to start on my 10th, and I'm going to move down to a 6th, and then I'm going to move down to a 3rd. So here I'm still playing D major, B minor, G major, but I'm using a 10th. And when reaching the B minor, instead of using this 10th with the root note here, I'm using the 6th with the 5th of the chord and the 3rd of the chord. And moving down to G, I'm using the root and the 3rd. So that sounds like. So when I reach a 3rd, I don't really have a smaller interval, so I'm just gonna spread out my voices. So from G, I want to move down to E minor, but I want to move out in contrary motion. So the soprano voice is gonna move up and the bass line is gonna move down. The bass line is moving down to E, doing G, F sharp, E, that we know. And the soprano voice is gonna move up to the 3rd using a 10th. And now that we're back on a 10th, our voices can move closer again using a 6th and then a 3rd. And when I reach a 3rd, my bass note is gonna move out. And I'm gonna play a 10th again. And this creates a nice section that you can repeat again and again. So that's all for today. Remember guys that you can get the full PDF lesson of this course over buymeacoffee.com, Counterpoint #2. And one great exercise you can do after watching this video is trying to move chords up in 3rds, but using contrary motion. Let me know in the comment if you succeed. And I see you next time.